UTM RBT, the system and the technology allows us to train as close to real as possible. And what I mean by that is with live fire, you always have the safety restrictions where you can't actually take it to the level that you would in combat, or in their case as security forces on the street for duty use. So the technology allows us to actually be able to use their weapons, their equipment, everything is real, and introduce role players for force on force or force on target, and advance the skills and make them more effective than what they're currently used to within their training.
The only thing I care about is looking at concepts. Your concept of 360 should go with you wherever you go. Okay, what I mean by that is, think of a 360 circle around you. I don't care whether you're going through a room, you're going through a hallway, you got to have 360.
Culturally, what we've always done within military and law enforcement training is everything is technique based. And what I mean by that is, if a very simple analogy is, if I throw a glass of water at your feet and you jump out of the way, that's a concept. I don't have to tell you to jump out of the way, you just know instinctively how to do it. Now, if I teach you a 8-step method of how to get away from that water, that's a technique. And unfortunately, what happens is that everyone gets so focused on the technique or the steps that they lose the simple concept of just getting out of the way. And so what we do is we take the system and the technology, but it allows us to test their protocol and actually reduce everything down to concepts instead of technique. So it's easier for the airman or the security forces officer to understand, to be able to comprehend, and then be able to move beyond what they thought they could do with their confidence level and the competence of their fundamental skills.
It's better to have the threat of consequence here, whether it's real or perceived, but you need to do it in a way that's not full-blown scenarios, because unfortunately it's too big of an elephant.
You don't have to have training that's completely involved in these long drawn-out scenarios, because unfortunately what happens, again, culturally, we miss the point sometimes of why we're doing something. And so everything has critical junction points and critical decision-making points within a certain area that you're trying to instruct or teach. Well, what these do is it allows us in a fun way, in a very short way, in a very pointed, specific way, to refine those decision-making, those skill points down so that they're easy to understand. Case in point is on the serpentine drill. Within that one drill that takes literally 30 seconds for a team to go through, is that you're using cover manipulation, you're learning how to move from cover to cover, you're looking at target discrimination, you're looking at emergency reloads, you're looking at actually navigating through different cover points. So within that, you've got 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 different skills that we can look at concepts within a one tight little drill. So throughout the house, you can look at how you can springboard and test your protocol of going through doors, clearing a building, going down a hallway, maintaining 360, the concept, staying athletic when you meet a role player or you're having to do flow drills. All of these things come into play that, again, are concepts, and they're skills that often get overlooked, but it's, as we know in tactics and as we know in real life, a lot of times most of the time, it's those little things, it's those fundamentals that will get us in trouble. And so unless we capitalize on that and be able to use a system like the UTM RB system to be able to showcase and be able to and focus on those type of skills, we overlook them and we lose them, and our training becomes ineffective.
The issue that we have is a lot of times when we get taught something in one environment, we have a hard time transitioning and putting it in another environment. Okay? But realistically, when you talk about tactics, what's the difference between a basic police officer and a special forces guy? What's the difference?
Training.
Okay, training with what? How? Is it the widgets? Is it the technology? Is it all that? Or is it just something that's just simple training? Every one of them, there's only one simple thing. It's whoever can do the fundamentals with fluidity and precision. That's it. Everything is about fundamentals, guys, and it's whoever can apply those fundamentals the best is going to be the one that comes out and wins. Which is what this allows you to do, is it allows you to spar and allows you to test your protocol before you get in. Makes sense, right? Okay, so 360, if you're doing your tactics and you say something's not right, we're just not getting it, throw a role player in there, throw a force on force, throw something in there to challenge that, and then that augments it and you'll be able to correct it, right?
Okay. We tend to get on the range with our weapons, whether it's, in their case, the M9s or the M4s, and it's all static. It's all based upon a range. You're shooting at a target. and everything is very controlled. Well, by doing the reloads with the UTM RBT system and the technology, is now you can sit there and you can cycle through all different weapons, different magazines. You can actually, when a bolt locks to the rear, that's your stimulus for being emergency reloads. You can actually have competitors. You can do things in environments that you normally couldn't do without this system. Because we don't have any safety restrictions, because once we convert all the weapons that they have, there's no way to introduce a live round. Whether it's by mistake, intentionally, you just can't do it mechanically. It's impossible to fire a live round from the system. There's absolutely no safety risk when it comes to this, as well as when they're actually firing the projectiles with the force on force, is that they're such low velocity that literally you can do training wherever you want to set up. And so we were doing everything from belt-fed weapons with the M240 to the 249 saw, shooting right there beside the parking lot where office buildings are, as well as doing competition shooting where we're getting very dynamic.
Remember, everywhere you guys go, eyes, muzzle, threat.
When they look at tactics, when they look at combatives, when they look at arrest techniques, when they look at policing or patrol or whatever the case may be, whatever discipline venue it is to challenge everything.
Good. All right, now roll. All right, guys, set up.